with his trainer, Eddie Reynoso, wearing black with white, also weighing in at 167.6 pounds. In his professional career, 54 victories, including 36 big wins by knockout, only one defeat with 2 draws, and he's undefeated for 6 years, and considered by many to be, pound for pound, the best in the world. He's the former 2-time light middleweight world champion, former middleweight world champion, former light heavyweight world champion, the reigning, defending super middleweight champion of the world, damas y caballeros de Guadalajara, Jalisco, México, representando al gran campeón, Saúl Canelo.
What's going on, everybody? DStyleBoxing here. Man, oh man, this is officially Canelo fight week. Thought I'd come on really quick. Who knows how long this will go on. Shout out to Team Batman Boxing, Jesus M. Let's get right to it. I mean, a lot to talk about. I mean, obviously, as we know, Canelo's going to be fighting Bivol. Or Bivol. All of a sudden, everybody wants to speak perfect Russian all of a sudden. Right, everywhere I look, I'm listening to streams. People are trying to be all like, you know what I mean, like Bivol, like just it's Bivol, okay? Like chill out, okay? I'm just saying, all right. I listen to videos all day. People say they say Gonzalez and Laura, okay? When it's Lara and Gonzalez, but it's okay, all right? Bivol. Like I don't know, like it's like they want to show their boxing acumen by pronouncing it better. I don't know what that's all about, but nonetheless, Omar E. Andre Rodriguez, Chicano Prophet with the Mexican flags. Team Batman already coming in hot, saying still very hyped for Saturday. Bivol is a superb opponent, but I expect Canelo to get the W, and that is already insane resume. All right, make sure you jab the like button on your way in. Share this video on all your social media platforms. And if you're listening on the recording, on playback, archive, as I call it, make sure you hit the like button. Check this out. All bullshit aside, okay? Just check this out, all bullshit aside. First of all, I'm actually looking forward to this fight. I think it's a good fight. I think it's a really good opponent. Canelo has fought at this weight class before, but once again, he's moving up in weight class, and he's moving up against one of the dudes that people always said, and it's like they forgot they said it, but they were always saying when he beat, remember when he beat Kovalev? Oh, why did he fight Bivol and Beterbiev, huh? Is he scared? Like, you know what I mean? And apparently not. But apparently now they're having revisionist history, a lot of these detractors. And now they're saying they only meant the Russian Beterbiev. That's it. Not Bivol, right? Okay. Well, we'll see if we keep that same energy if and when the Beterbiev fight happens. And many believe it's not going to happen for some reason. Shit's crazy. I think the fight's really possible to happen, to be honest with you. SSC in the building. How's it going, brother? How you doing? All right. We have Lee Groves on here. All right. It's a Jimmy Lennon Sr. rule of ring announcers. Everyone deserves the dignity of having his or her name pronounced properly. Okay, fair enough. You know what I mean? Fair enough. All right. So is that why when I was talking when I was like when I was talking about Kovalev, I would get corrected. It's Kovalev. Like Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. Okay, like I'm just saying. But anyway, Sean Hicks in the building. How's it going, brother? JC on here as well. How you guys doing? Hit my like button, of course. All right. Look, check this out. Yeah, Groves is saying he will never fight Callum Smith. Look, when he fought Rocky Fielding, oh, he's not fighting the real dudes. He don't want that plant smoke, and he don't want that Smith smoke, and whatever, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's whatever to me. All right. Well, it's whatever to me. Look, first of all, I think this is a great fight. Let me just get that out of the way. Let me make that very clear as I can. I think this is a really good fight. And it's going under the radar for some people because, quite frankly, a lot of people don't know who Bivol is. All right. A lot of even some aficionados out there, boxing aficionados out there, are not that familiar with Bivol. They've only seen some of his most recent, fights, where I'll admit he hasn't looked all that spectacular in some of his most recent fights. They're kind of underwhelming, but at the end of the day, I still feel he handled business. I still feel kind of, did what he needed to do, got through it pretty easily, in my opinion, So, and now if you think the same Bivol's going to show up when he has fucking Saul Canelo Alvarez and everything that comes with it, with a potential victory, right? If you think he's going to show up the same like he did the last fight or so, I think you're crazy. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. I think you're out of your mind if you think that's an easy fight for Canelo. That's what I think. I think Bivol would be a challenge for anybody moving up from 168 to 175. All right? Any one of them. Whether it's Plant, whether it's Benavidez, whether it's whoever. You put their name, and I think Bivol has a really good shot to defeat every single one of them. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting at, And now we have a dude that's angry because G-Funky's not racist. So they want to troll dudes that aren't racist. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. That's the thing now. Oh, he's not racist. Ooh, black power. Like whatever that means. But, it's whatever to me. But check this out. That didn't last very long, did it? Andre Rodriguez, I think this is a great fight based on styles. This fight might be the toughest fight for Canelo than against Beterbiev, a great fighter too, of course. DJ Mexicano de Texas. How's it going, brother? Let's talk about this fight, okay? Let's just talk about this really quick. First of all right, let's go ahead and talk about this fight in particular and why I believe anyway that Bivol will be up on the cards after the first 5 rounds. I think it'll be like 3-2, maybe even 4-1 Bivol. All right. Bivol does not cooperate with you when you fight him. Okay. He doesn't cooperate. He doesn't meet you halfway. He doesn't, do any of that. What Bivol does, and he, first of all, he has really good footwork. I think his foot placement is phenomenal. His punch placement is really good. All right. He has really good combinations, and he's good at getting out of the way after a combination. He'll turn his opponents, right? So, in other words, if you throw a punch, he pivots, and now he's at a different angle to you, right? So you have to move with him, right? You have to move with Bivol. And Canelo will. I mean, Canelo's not going to have an issue with that. But since he's going to have to be dealing with that, it's going to take him time to, time Bivol, all right? The timing's going to take some time, right? He's not going to be at a straight line to Canelo, right? And Bivol doesn't do the usual kind of like very negative run around the ring thing, right? Like he really doesn't. So he'll always be at range, even though he's moving, even though he's pivoting, right? he'll go off course for a little bit. He'll go off course for a moment, but he always gets back in that pocket with you, right? Bivol is, a really good boxer, and I think that is. There's a lot of people that don't want to say that. There's a lot of people that just don't want to just say it because they don't want to give Canelo credit if he wins this fight. I mean, that's really what it is. I know a lot of people, and I'm not going to call them out, but they were calling Canelo, they were calling Bivol a good boxer, and some were even picking him to beat Beterbiev if they ever fought, before the thought of a Canelo fight was even a thing, right? Look, Canelo's moving up to his weight class. You're going to fight at 175 pounds. And from my knowledge, there's no rehydration clause. From my knowledge, there's nothing like that, okay? So we need to definitely analyze that and look at that, right? And give Canelo credit for that. So if you remember last year when the planned fight was being negotiated, word was getting out that Bivol was, first of all, saying he's willing to go down to 168, right? And he was, kind of, there was rumors saying that they might fight at 175, but at a catchweight, meaning under 175. And I don't believe, I didn't think that was going to happen, but I did verbally say that I would not be in favor of that whatsoever, by the way. What's going to tie into what I'm going to talk about next. I very specifically said I'm not in favor of a catchweight. I never have been, and I hope he doesn't ask Bivol to fight him at a catchweight. He's fighting Bivol at his weight class, right? Bivol is, there's no rehydration clause that I know of. There was a fringe group mentioning that, but they've kind of let that go right now, okay? I'm looking forward to this fight because he's allowing Bivol to be at his best on his weight class, and it is Canelo that's moving up to fight him, right? And by many of y'all's own, I guess if you want to call it rationale, by your own rationales, right? Canelo's never really had a real fight at 175 because you were saying Kovalev was coming off a war, he wasn't the same, and so that's why Canelo was able to knock him out because he was he was softened up by Yard, and so by your own logic, Canelo's never really had a quote unquote real 175-pound fight ever. Right. So now the guy that you were saying, one of them, why didn't he fight Bivol? Why didn't he fight Beterbiev? Right. All I'm asking is to keep the same energy. He is going to fight one of them now. Right. Look, he can't fight both of them at one night. There's no handicap matches in boxing, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. There's no handicap matches. Like, he can't fight both of them at the same night. He could only fight one. Right. Only one at a time on the same night, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. That's really all I'm saying. He can't fight. Okay, he can't fight both of them. He can't fight Beterbiev. He can't fight Bivol at the same time. And if you look at the pattern, he's getting the matchroom guys out of the way first. The guys that work with Eddie Hearn, he's getting them out of the way, and then now let's negotiate. Right? Just think about it. Against Plant, he took care of business with all the matchroom guys. He beat up Plant. I'm sorry, not Plant. I'm going backwards. Callum Smith, Billy Joe Saunders, right? He got 3 of the 4 belts, so that this created more leverage, in his favor, and that's what he's going to do here. He's going to get a belt, all right? And then he's going to allow these 2 dudes, Beterbiev and Smith to unify, and then he'll have a belt as leverage. What do you want Canelo to do? Like, have no belt? You know what I mean? I mean, it's getting us closer to an undisputed 175, and I would like to see that personally. All right, that's just the way I see it. All right, personally. So let's talk about the fight and what I think Canelo is going to do here. I kind of said what Bivol brings. Bivol doesn't cooperate with you in the ring, right? He just doesn't. He's not a cooperator. He's really smooth in there. And the other thing is that's another word. When I was watching some film of Bivol, how smooth he is in the ring. Really good punch placement. He sneaks in good body shots here and there. So The jab is really, really good. He's got like I think Bivol has. I'm not going to go as far as to say the best jab Canelo's ever seen, but it's top 5. Like it's up there as far as jabs that he's seen. All right. He's going to utilize that jab, and I think it's going to give Canelo, dare I say the word, problems. Okay. Now, I know that word's used a lot in boxing. He's going to give him problems, right? What I'm saying is that I think Bivol's going to be winning rounds early. I think a lot of that in and out movement, a lot of that, those nuances, little pivots on the inside, I think is faster than Canelo on his feet, all right? And I think he's going to be able to work Canelo, right, and turn him and use that jab, pepper him with the jab, throw 1-2s. He has a really good 1-2, Bivol, right? Shoot. I think he'll probably even use, jabs to the body, okay? Use his length a little bit, okay, a little bit in and out, but in movement, right? So when Bivol backs up, he backs up while he's pivoting out of the way. He doesn't back up in a straight line, right? So especially early when he's fresh, that's when I think he's going to be, dare I say, outboxing Canelo. Like I just got to say it. I think he will be outboxing him. I think he'll be competitive. I think Canelo will be sneaking in some body shots from jump. I think Canelo will be missing some punches wide early because he's going to be trying to find the range of those punches, right? And when you're trying to do that, you're going to be missing wide early. So, and I think because of that, Bivol will be winning the rounds. But one thing I want you to notice when you're watching this fight, round 1, I'm pretty sure Canelo's going to start very, very slow. He's not a fast starter. And I think Bivol isn't going to start fast either, but he's going to outwork Canelo a little bit, right? He's going to utilize the jab. He's not going to exert a lot of energy himself, and it's going to be like a sneak around. He's going to get out of the way. Round 2, I do think, and by the way, I do think Canelo's going to be on his back foot from round 1 because he's going to want to allow Bivol to be a little bit of an aggressor. Now, Bivol doesn't, like I said, cooperate. So it's going to take time because look, Bivol knows what Canelo's trying to do when he gets on the back foot. You know what I mean? But he's not trying to get Bivol to be the aggressor in the fight, right? He wants to get him in the center of the ring so they could box him mid-range and circle in the middle of the ring. And I think by round 2, you're going to see that. You're going to see both of them circling the ring, right? And I think Canelo is going to be blocking body shots. I think he'll do a good job blocking the body shots, but he's going to be getting peppered upstairs with some jabs, some straights, maybe some hooks from Bivol. And I think as the rounds progress, from round 1, I think Canelo's going to be missing wide. By round 2, it will still be wide, but you're going to notice the punches are like the timing's going to get better, right? Because here's what Canelo wants to find, all right? And I'm saying it now because people are going to be saying, "Oh, Canelo he was missing wide, then he got lucky." That's what they say with plan. I'm telling you right now, he's going to be missing wide, and the reason for that is when you're trying to land where your opponent's going to be, not where he is, which is what you need to do with somebody like Bivol. Okay, it could look way off, right? Like if his head's center line, right? And you shoot the right hand, well, it's not going to be center line anymore by the time it gets there, right? He's going to move his head, right? So you need to guess. So not only is Bivol pivoting this way and he's at an awkward angle to you, right? Like Bivol could be over here, right? Boom, right? So Canelo's going to have to turn at the same time with Bivol. Right? Bivol comes this way, boom, right? Like he's going to have to turn with him, and at the same time, try to gauge where Bivol's head's going to be when he shoots his punch. He's going to shoot it, boom, right? He's going to have to gauge it, right? That is what Canelo needs to do. And when he's doing that, he's going to be missing wide at times, right? Because if he thinks Bivol's head's going to be right here, right? He knows, okay, Bivol's going to turn, so I'm going to time it. So I'm going to pivot with him, right? Turn with him, and then I'm going to shoot my punch. But if Bivol's head's not there, it's over here, or he ducks slow, it's going to look like Canelo just had a big swing and a miss, right? But what Canelo needs to do is kind of sense the pattern, right? Sense the percentages of the pattern. Like 8 out of 10 times when he moves this way, his head's here, right? So he's going to have to time it, and at some point he's going to catch him, right? So as the rounds progress, as the fight progresses, right? As the fight continues, Canelo's going to start getting closer and closer. Those and it's going to take Canelo, in my opinion, about 5 rounds to really get the timing down with it, in my opinion. Okay. So now the one thing with Bivol, though, sometimes, like I said, he backs up and then he kind of pivots out of the way. And I think that's going to work to Canelo's advantage anyway, right? Bivol doesn't really like pivot like right inside on you, right? Not like a Lomachenko or something like that. He's going to kind of get away, pivot this way, and come back forward to you, right? And I think Canelo's going to use that to his advantage. And at some point, I'm thinking around round 6, Canelo's going to start timing those punches as Bivol's coming back in, right? Bivol's going to get with a punch that he does not see coming somewhere in the middle rounds, I do believe. All right. And then not only that, I think Canelo's going to be working the body, slowing down Bivol, and the slower you become, the more stationary you become, the slower your feet become, and the slower Bivol becomes throughout the fight, while Canelo's also getting the timing down. He's going to start finding home. He's going to start finding home on Bivol. And I think what Bivol's not expecting is Bivol likes to shoot those body shots sometimes, and I think a lot of these tall dudes, not saying Bivol's like, he's what, 6 feet, 6'1". Canelo's fought bigger, taller guys anyway. But those long dudes at 175, 168 with the long torsos, Canelo has a field day going to the body, especially when he gets on the inside. He turns their longer arms into a disadvantage, or their longer limbs to a disadvantage. And I think he's going to have success with that here too, especially in the second half of the fight. And I think Bivol's going to have a hard time with that small target. Canelo's very compact, like, for these guys, right? I mean, you got to kind of like shoot around, or, but he's so good at blocking the shots. He's compact, he's going to block the shots with his elbows and everything. That's what I'm personally looking forward to, right? Seeing him block those body shots. I don't think he's going to have a lot of success blocking the headshots as much, but I think he'll roll with them, right? So anyway, second half of the fight, once Canelo has the timing down, once the body shots start taking their toll on Bivol, like I do believe it will, right? Once Bivol's not having success to the body, he's going to abandon the body attack, start headhunting, right? He might have a round or two of success, but I think Canelo's just going to take over after that. I just think he's going to, and then at that point, Canelo's going to start pressuring him, right? Apply some pressure on Bivol, force him to move more, force him to use the lungs more, keep attacking the body. And I think somewhere around round 9 or 10, I do think Canelo's going to knock him out, right? I think he knocks Bivol out. I think minds are going to blow, and it's going to be conspiracy theories that it was fixed. Oh, he was making Canelo miss early, and then all of a sudden he was getting hit, right? It's because he's going to get the timing down. Canelo's trying to land his big shots. Okay. If you haven't noticed, Canelo misses a lot of his big, like, power shots early. Okay, sometimes he doesn't. You know what I mean? But like against Khan, he was missing wide, right? He was trying to time him, right? But once he actually lands that big shot, everything just changes. Okay, it's about the timing. He's trying to get the timing down. That's what he's trying to do. So it's going to look wide early, right? Let me give you an example. Amanda Serrano was missing very wide against Katie Taylor in that first round. Go back and watch it. It's not because Amanda's timing sucks, or because she's horrible at timing, or doesn't know how to throw. Of course she knows how to box, right? Yeah. She was missing that jab from like this much. No problem. But what happened every round? Amanda started missing by less and less and less. And then what happened in the fifth? Started clipping her flush, and she hurt Katie Taylor, right? Now, that's kind of similar to what you're going to see in this fight. Only, I think Canelo's just going to take over, okay? One punch that I'm interested to see if Bivol could implement is the straight, down the pipe. That's what I'm thinking. I want to see if we could implement that punch, because I think that's a punch that could be successful against Canelo, in my opinion. Okay. Now he's orthodox. He's gonna have to throw a right hand, but just shoot that straight right to see how, like, it'll be interesting. You know what I mean? It'll be interesting. The other thing with Bivol, he needs to be careful. I do think Bivol's going to be a little more upright in this fight, right? I don't think he's going to bend the knees and the waist and come low, because Canelo is very dangerous with that uppercut. And I think I do believe that's the one punch that Bivol's going to concentrate on taking away from Canelo. He's not going to bend too low, come in too low, and not allow Canelo to get that uppercut in, because that is a really devastating punch. It is. Like it's no joke. Like you know what I mean? So he needs to be careful. Another thing I don't think we're going to see Bivol do, maybe later in the rounds if he's exhausted and tired, I'll be shocked. Look, in the first 7 rounds or so, if Bivol does this against the ropes, I'll be shocked as fuck. Come back and tell me DStyle, he did that shit. Come back and tell me I was wrong, because I deserve to be told that. I don't think Bivol's going to be against the ropes doing this shit, okay, because Canelo is going to fuck you up if you do that against the ropes, okay? He just is. You know, his body attack is good, you know, and then with those long torsos against those tall guys, he just shreds them apart. And then he's got that uppercut with both the left and the right, by the way. Okay. He's got that good feint, put his glove up, right? And just one little reaction, and he knows what to do. It could be the uppercut, or he could hook off of it, right? Or he could just, back up and throw the jab. I mean, there's a lot of different things Canelo could do in that situation, depending on what your reaction is, right? So you may think, oh, usually when Canelo does this, guys put their head down. And let's say you think, right, let's say for whatever reason, okay, I'm not going to put my head down because it's going to come with the uppercut. You know what I mean? Okay, fine. What are you going to do? Put your hands out to block an uppercut, and then it's going to come with a hook upstairs, right? So you got to be careful of your stationary, but I honestly don't think Bivol's going to make that mistake. There's no way Bivol can be watching film of Canelo or his corner. There's no way they're not going to work on avoiding that situation. Okay, he's going to get the fuck out of there, and he's got the footwork to do it, especially in the first half of the fight. So Bivol is not going to get stuck against the ropes. He just isn't, okay? And I think he's going to be the one that's coming in and out like a sharpshooter, okay, in those early rounds, while Canelo's kind of in the middle and circling around with him too. But the little sharp turns are going to be done by Canelo. Like the overlapping turns are in the middle of that ring going to be done by Bivol. Okay, kind of overlapping and sharp, like overlap, turn, boom, come in sharp again, and I think that's going to give Canelo some, might I say, problems. Okay, and it's going to take Canelo some time to get the timing down. Right now, let me answer this question. Shout out to Sean Hicks, by the way. He says DStyle's cooking. I see you, bro. What's going on, brother? Subscribe, absolutely. Lee Grove says, however, let me bring it up. Why isn't Howard Bivol is the kind of fighter who, if he performs better than expected, could start at Canelo's getting older talk. Yeah, that's true. Okay. But here's the thing, though. What if, right? There's people picking Bivol to win, right? And I'm not even saying like their breakdowns are wrong, because I see the first half of the fight playing out just like they think it's going to play out. But in my opinion, he's going to get broken down. And in the course of the fight, like he's going to start slowing down, and then Canelo's going to start picking him apart. Okay. But that's just my opinion. Stop him late, or when he, like a 6, I'll say about 8-4-ish, maybe 7-5-ish decision, but where Canelo's rounds are very solid, I would say. You know what I mean? There is people saying, you know what, I think Bivol could outbox. Okay? He could. But Bivol's going to have to be on point, because I don't think Bivol can hurt Canelo like that. Like that. Like, I'm not saying the punches aren't going to sting. All punches hurt. Okay? But he's going to have to be on point. He's going to have to be accurate, and he's going to have to be on point for that whole fight. All right? And if he is, it's going to be a spectacular performance. All right? If he could do that. If he could keep up that, that pace. Because the thing with Canelo, he starts a slow pace and he just escalates it round after round after round after round. Like every round just gets that much harder, that much heavier, right? and he's learned how to pace himself very, very well, right? So I just don't know if Bivol could do that. Like, that is a hard task to ask. You know what I mean? I don't see how Bivol even does it without taking some rounds off. Like, I just don't. Because he, like, you know what I mean? Like, could Bivol pull off a 7-5 decision? Now, whether Vegas gives them to him or not, I don't know, right? I don't like to talk about the judges like that. Frankly, I think it's just too many people are saying, "Oh, I think Bivol's going to win, but they're going to give it to Canelo, so they want to hedge it, whatever." Right? All I'm saying is this: I legitimately don't think he could outbox Canelo for 7 rounds. All right, I think he could be up early. I think his mettle will show early, but I don't think he can do it for 7 rounds, which is what he needs to do to win. Right? I don't think he can do it. Like, I'm not talking about, oh, but the judges won't give it to him. I legitimately don't believe, all things being fair, that he could not box Canelo for 7 rounds. I just don't. All right, that's my opinion. All right, I don't think he could keep that up. I just don't. But if he proves me wrong, he proves me wrong. All right, we'll cross that bridge when we get there type of guy. So if Bivol boxes Canelo, gives him a boxing lesson, and the judges rob him, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I'll say, what are you going to say, D-Style? What are you going to do? They rob him. Well, I'm going to say they robbed him. Just like when I feel there's a robbery, I say there's a robbery if I feel that way, right? But if it's a close fight that could go either way, I'm not going to say it's a robbery. Like, I'm just saying, yeah, but he's the A side. Like whatever, okay? Like, all I'm saying is that we'll cross that bridge if and when we get there. He first needs to actually outbox Canelo, and then the judges have to rob him in order for us to have that conversation, right? So that is that. That is my prediction. I got Canelo by late round stopping. Look at Manny Water. I got Canelo by crooked decision. So you believe, right? You believe that Bivol's going to outbox Canelo, but they're not going to give him the decision, is what you believe. Right? And I think people that predict that need to say that. Stop saying, oh, Canelo's going to win. Why? Oh, you know the judge. I'm just saying. You know the judges, right? But what does it mean anything? Do you believe Canelo could legitimately beat him, yes or no? Can Canelo box him, yes or no? That's what's important. What I want to know from Man and Water is, do you believe that he's going to, judges decide that he's going to outbox Canelo? That's what I want to know. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. He says, yes, exactly. Okay. We will see. All right. That's a better way to put it. Canelo by robbery. Okay. If that's how you feel. You know what I mean? Fair enough. But with that said, man, Bivol wins the decision unless he gets robbed. Man. Hey, Bivol's good, man. Bivol's good. I think he'll be up on the cards, at least on my card, after 5 rounds, in my opinion. And then Canelo takes over in the middle rounds, takes him out late, or just kind of dominates the rest of the fight. My opinion, okay? Just my opinion. So, there we go. Anyway, let's talk about this PBC thing. So, there is an article right now by Boxing Scene, all right? Now, I had it up, but for some reason I lost the article. Here it is. Tom Brown. We offer Canelo $45 million for Charlo, $55 million for Spence at 164, or Benavidez at 168. This is an article by Keith Deidig. You guys can check it out at boxingscene.com. The article's there. You guys can read it. So I'm not going to go over the whole article. You want to go and read that. But I want to go over the figures here, and that's what I'm going to talk about. First of all, $45 million for Charlo, $55 million for Spence at 164, or Benavidez at 168. Is that a good deal? Look, of course that's a good deal, right? But I think he got a better deal with this zone deal, in my opinion. And I think Bivol is a tougher fight than Charlo. My opinion. I think a tougher fight. I think Bivol will present more, dare I say, problems versus Canelo, okay, than Charlo. That's how I feel, especially at 168. Right? So now Jamal's going to be fighting Sulecki, for what it's worth. Okay. He didn't look so good last year in his fight against, so it is what it is. You know what I mean? So look, 45 million for Charlo, and then I like how they upped the ante in the second fight with 55 million. You know what I mean? 55 million to fight either Benavidez at 168 or Spence at 164. First of all, PBC knows Charlo's not going to win. That's why they're not even offering Canelo the biggest deal with Charlo. They're like, look, we'll offer you the 45 mil against Charlo, which is good money, okay? But if you want the good money, you want the 55, you got to either fight Spence or Benavidez. So that tells you a lot, in my opinion. First, the Benavidez fight. I still see people saying that Canelo ducked Benavidez and he went for the franchise belt because this and that and once Benavidez became vacant all of a sudden. First of all, stop saying that he vacated the belt. I know. Okay. He lost the belt on the scales. Okay. He didn't vacate the belt. All right. He wasn't they didn't take the belt away from him. He had a championship fight and he didn't make weight. Okay. And people just act like it's no big deal. No big deal. He missed weight. I mean, so what? No, you come in overweight. That's just as bad, if not worse, than using diuretics to make weight. Because you're using the weight advantage. With diuretic, you get to make the weight, but you don't have the weight advantage like that. So it's worse. So spare me. Benavidez was in front of the line. Benavidez couldn't make weight. Okay? Now Benavidez goes to the back of the line. That's how shit works in life. All right? Like Benavidez, I think he's a good fighter. I'm a fan of his. But we got to keep it real. Now Canelo wants to fight for the belt. He lost the belt. What do you want? And no, he didn't just decide to do it because Yildirim became champion. No, that's incorrect. Yildirim was called the mandatory by the WBC before Benavidez lost the belt on the scale. He was going to fight Benavidez for the belt. And you know what? It would have been crickets for the same people criticizing Canelo for it. Crickets. Well, I mean, it is mandatory. You know what I'm saying? He's got to fight him. Just like it's crickets that Charlo's fighting fucking Sulecki. Okay? Oh, it's not his fault. He's not popular like Canelo, so I give him passes when he fights chumps. Right? What's going on to Max, Man in Water? How's it going, everybody? That's just the reality. And yes, he did fight Yildirim. I like how people still point that out, by the way. But he fought Yildirim, though. Why did he fight Yildirim? He fought Yildirim, but he won't fight Charlo. That shit all time. Shit's hilarious, bro. He fought Yildirim. But he won't fight Charlo, though. Come on, man. Give me a fucking break. Give me a break. He fought Yildirim. Here's the thing. Are you saying that Charlo should be a tune-up? Is that what you're saying? Would Charlo take just $3 million that Yildirim did? Would he? Yildirim took $3 million. By the way, the fact that Yildirim made $3 million shows you that Canelo was a fucking cash cow. Okay? That's what Floyd paid like world champions. Okay, that shit's crazy. That's what he paid Maidana, bro. Okay, like this is what Canelo like, just like here. This is what he gave fucking Yildirim. But Charlo wouldn't fight for that money. Just wouldn't, right? He fought Callum Smith in December. He fought Yildirim in February. Then he fought fucking Billy Joe Saunders in fucking May. Like, Canelo could have like just not fought at all from December to May, and he's more active than your favorite fucking fighters. Shit's crazy. But whatever. But he fought Yildirim because the WBC named him the mandatory before Canelo even had the belt. All right, and he used him as a tune-up. Okay, that's what he did. No, but he fought him, though. Look at all these dudes out here with their hands like this. Come on, Canelo. Fight me. Like, get the fuck out of here. It's about to fight Bivol, bro. Like, you know what I mean? It's about to fight a champion, 175. You guys do still saying the name Yildirim, right? He fought Yildirim. Check this out, right? So now, let's talk about Spence at 164. Really? Really, you guys offer Canelo a fight at 164 against Errol Spence? Really? So Canelo needs to agree to a catchweight? That's what's going on right now? Now we're okay with catchweights? Is that what this is? Yeah, but Canelo did it. Canelo had his own catchweight. Like, yeah, I know, and I criticized him for it. When he was fighting at 155 and all that shit, and he was fighting catchweights, I criticized him for it. Okay? But now we're okay with it? Is that what we're saying? So now it's cool? Now it's cool, right? First of all, I mean, is there anyone that really believes Errol Spence could fuck with Canelo at 164? Or does anybody really believe that? Is anybody out there? Anybody that really believes Errol Spence can fuck with Canelo? I don't think people understand what Canelo would do to Errol Spence. In fact, Canelo wouldn't get credit for that fight. After that fight, people would be saying, oh, but he beat up a little small dude. He's a little itty bitty little guy. Why did he fight somebody his own size? Canelo was 185 pounds. Errol Spence is the 147 pounder. It's not fair. That's what I already know that's what would be said. First of all, it just annoys me that it would be a catchweight. I don't like catchweights anyway, but I do think Canelo could make that weight, to be fair. Okay, but then they would be crying about the rehydration. They'll be saying he looked like I've seen people say, "Oh, like Canelo, look at it! Just by looking at him, I know he's a clenbuterol. He's on those burgers. He's eating the meat. Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? But they're begging Canelo to fight their dude, though. You know what I mean? Everywhere I look, I don't have Canelo my pound for pound because he's a cheater. You know, but they're like, but in the same breath, oh, come on, Canelo, fight Charlo, fight Spence, fight him. Like, you know, like, it's just like, well, what do you want? What the fuck is going on over here? Shout out to Major Key Boxing, by the way. Alvin Rodriguez. How's it going, brother? I just don't understand why people think. What do you think's going to happen? Like at 154, dude. You know what I mean? 164, I'm sorry. He's never even fought it that way. Like, you don't just do that. See how, look at Cal Brook. He just went from 147 to 160, and it basically could argue that fucked up his career, right? What do you think would happen to Spence at 164 against Canelo at this point? What do you think would happen? What do people think would happen? Like, are there people out there that really believe Spence would have a shot to beat Canelo? Is there anybody? Can I get a witness? Can I get somebody that thinks Spence can fuck with Canelo? Anything north of 164? Anybody out there that believes this? Anybody? By the way, I think I missed some stuff here. Hold on. Something to get off of my rant. First of all, shout out to Lee Groves. I'm sorry, Sean Hicks. I'm sorry. Becoming a member. A much appreciated, brother. And shout out to Afro Rican G, my brother. 199 super chat. I appreciate it. Writing Yoga. I don't know if she's still listening, but shout out to her. All right. Shout out to everybody, man. Check this out. Miguel Mondragon in the building. Check this out, man. Let me ask you guys this. Would Canelo get credit for beating up Spence? Would he get credit? So why are people bringing it up? Like if it's like a legitimate fight or some shit. Like, oh, like that's not how it's done. Like let me give you some quick examples. Okay. Just some quick examples, you know. Let's see. Trinidad, right? Trinidad went from, okay. Trinidad he had to fight with the lawyer. Then he moved up at 154. He fought Reed there. He fought Vargas there. He moved up, okay. He fought fucking Joppy, fucking annihilated him, okay. And then he fought fucking Hopkins, okay. I might be missing a fight or two there, but I'm just telling you right now, he didn't go from 147 straight to Bernard Hopkins, okay. Same with De La Hoya, he stayed at welterweight. He had a loss to Mosley, moved up. He fought the Spanish dude, forgot his name. Okay, he fought fucking Campas. He fought Vargas. Okay, he moved up. Should have lost his stern, but he kind of felt out the division first. Then he fought Hopkins. What makes these dudes think they could just go from like 147 and go fight Canelo right now? Well, what makes these dudes like that's a smart idea or something? Before people tell me, it's been done before. Other fighters did it. I'm just saying, there's a way to do it. How about Spence fights at 154 first? You know? Fight a Castano, fight somebody at 154, get a belt there, and then fight at 160. How about you have a fight at 160? Even if it's against Lara or some shit, And then you could do a fight with Canelo. I just think it's crazy to just jump up that way. It's my opinion. Oh, but Duran did it. Duran went from 135 and he fought one of the greatest of all time, Ray Leonard. He did it, right? No. Duran fought several fights at 147 before he fought Ray Leonard. Okay? He didn't just go from 135 and fought Ray Leonard. It's not true. All right? But he did it though. But anyway, are there some cases where guys have moved up and been successful? Yes. Okay. Before people get on me. Hopkins jumped up. He fought Tarver. Became light heavyweight champion of the world. Okay. By doing so. But I think that was a calculated risk. Okay. Roy Jones went from 175 and he fought John Ruiz. Okay. And he became the WBA world champion, right? So it has been done, but it's few and far between. And I don't think those guys were like at the level of a Canelo when moving up. I just don't. And those were some guys that were on top of their game at the time. Okay. Hopkins, yes, he was coming off the losses to Jermaine Taylor, but it was a savvy veteran, and he had the size to fight at 175. Okay, in my opinion. That's all I want to know. You know what I mean? So anyway, Major Kid says, why people not wanting Errol to fight Charlos or Andrade first on the way up, huh? He gets to just go straight to Canelo. And guess what? After Canelo beats him, they're going to be saying, well, why do you fight? Why do you fight somebody his own size? Canelo's fighting little dudes. And they'll probably blame the catchweight on Canelo too because he agreed to it. Canelo's the outside. The fact that it's a catchweight is his fault. You know what I mean? So it's whatever. Okay? It's whatever. If you want to end the career of Errol Spence, okay, put him in the ring with Canelo. If you want his career to end. If you want to shorten his career, put him in the ring with Saul Canelo Alvarez. If that's what you want. Here's what I find interesting. They're going to fork out $55 million for Saul Canelo Alvarez, but we can't get this Crawford fight going. We can't get this Crawford fight popping. Let's get the Crawford fight popping. He's in your division, 147. It's a fight everybody wants to see. The most anticipated fight in all of boxing right now. Let's go. Apparently, these ones got deep pockets. They got deep pockets for Canelo. I keep hearing about how, like, well, first of all, people, people let go of the whole argument that Spence is a bigger name than Canelo. They let that shit go ASAP. So they stopped saying that shit. But what's up? You don't got to give all $55 million to Crawford, but you could give him some of that, right? And we can get this fight popping. Let's go. I'm just saying. Mexico native says Spence Triple G before Canelo fight. Okay. Look, if Triple G is such a piece of cake, he's old, he's 40. Spence shouldn't have if you think Spence can beat Canelo right now, then he shouldn't have a problem beating Gennady Golovkin at 160 pounds. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. It's a lot different. Okay. It's a lot different having that style with that high guard and when you're used to being a stronger guy when you're no longer the stronger guy. It's a lot different. All right. So it's a whole different ball game. All right. I agree with you, Major Key. Maybe they're forgetting. I don't know what it is. I'm just saying. All right. How many likes I got? All right, fair enough. Good enough. Let's see if we get to 50 before the end of this video. I'll be ending it soon. You guys can give me the 50 likes. Y'all the bomb. You know what I mean? So hit the like button if you haven't already. All right. A shout out to the moderators. I've been telling people to hit the like. Y'all don't got the rents for nothing. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. I'm not asking the moderators to do some, yard work for me. And I'm not asking you to find a diamond in the rough. I'm just asking you to tell people to hit the like. You know what I mean? Like, people check it out. I wanted to elaborate a little bit about Eddie Reynoso, if I can. Look, Eddie Reynoso, the Canelo team, whatever you want to call it, it hasn't been having the best. Like, it's the opposite of last year. Let's just say that, right? Martinez, he got, Chocolatito took Martinez to school. Like, you know what I mean? He dog walked him to school. Like, he put the collar on him and walked him to the school, sat him down, gave him a piece of paper pen, okay, and gave him all, he gave him a lecture. Like, that's what he did, all right? And then he walked him back to the bus, all right, to be taken back home. That's what Chocolatito did to Martinez, okay? He just took him to school, all right? Dog walked him there, right? That's just as brutal as that sounds. That's what he did. And Martinez had no answers, right? And so obviously the trainer, Reynoso, the Canelo team, got criticism for that, right? But I think that's a little unfair. Like, I know a lot of people felt that was a 50-50 fight, and I respect that. And we don't all get them right. So I don't get them all right. None of us do. But my opinion going into that fight is that it wasn't a 50-50 fight. That's just my opinion, right? And the reason I felt that way, I just think Chocolatito is not the same dude that fought Sir Rungazai. Chocolatito now has a trainer that he has a connection with. Like, he lost his previous trainer. So it wasn't the same Chocolatito. This is a very focused Chocolatito. I saw what he did with Francisco Estrada. I feel he edged that one out. It was close, but I felt he edged it out. And Francisco Estrada is one of my favorite fighters. Okay. But nonetheless, I saw what he did there, and I felt he's too technical for him, and I think he's going to just piece him apart. I think the high guard with the movement, waist movement, Chocolatito is one of the best at that. It's going to be a little too much for Martinez, who stands, straight up a little too much. But and that was part of the criticism that Reynoso was getting. Like, where was the plan of attack? Where was, fixing him standing straight up at times? And I just think it's unfair to just get on the trainer for that, because we don't know if they have worked on that or not. We just know Martinez didn't implement it, right? And whether Martinez should stay or go, or I don't know. I just don't know, right? Sometimes you just are who you are. You know what I mean? And I said this, dude, I said this on many podcasts last year, right? My issue with Reynoso, and this is from the outside looking in, like I said, I don't know, I'm not there, I'm not in there, right? Is that it seems like he trains everybody and expects all these fighters to fight the way Canelo fights. And that just isn't going to work, right? Not every fighter is the same, right? Not everyone swings the iron the same in golf. Oh, but Tiger Woods is the best, so I'm going to swing the way he swings. Well, you can't swing the way he swings because you don't have the same body type, right? Your swing isn't in the same velocity and speed. It's not the same, right? So you can't do that, even if he is the best. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not how it works. You can't swing punches the same, time it the same as Canelo, because Canelo's Canelo. And also, Canelo has developed his style not just through training and all that, but through experience, through like the fighters he's fought and all that, right? So I think it's unfair to expect these guys to perform the way Canelo performs, right? So that's just how I feel about that, right? And then the Valdez fight happens, right? I scored a 93 for Valdez. I'm sorry, for Shakur. I think of those 9 rounds, I felt like 8 of those, like Shakur clearly won. There's no way you could give it to Valdez. Just give him a thorough boxing lesson. One of them was like competitive, but like Stevenson clearly won it as well. And then I feel like round 3, Valdez won. And then I think it was like round 7, I had it really competitive and close. Could have gone either way, but I give it to Valdez. You know, so like there's some, you know what I mean? I think round 12 was competitive as well. But nonetheless, overall, wide scorecard for Shakur for sure, right? Plus the 10-8 round, right? On top of that. You know, that is like, but going in, and I've seen a lot of criticism, and I hear you guys. We're all entitled to our opinions also, right? I don't like it when boxing fans are told, you don't get to have an opinion. Now, we all have a right to express our opinion, okay? I think I see a lot of criticisms that he didn't go to the body enough, or that Valdez should have concentrated more on a body attack, that he shouldn't have used the high guard. That was a mistake, and he should have been more active. He should have thrown more punches. He should have. I mean, look, obviously, we're all looking at it knowing that what he didn't work. So we're suggesting other options, right? And I think people are acting like they would have worked, right? So if Valdez just went for a straight body attack, which I do believe he tried to do, Shakur was just holding him, right? That's all he did. So he would neutralize the body attack by holding him, right? When he was trying to body work from mid-range, while Shakur was shooting to the body as well, right? A little low at times, if we're honest. Anyone who's honest knows those are low, okay? But nonetheless, hey, he did what he had to do, right? And of course, I don't know what people want. Like, let's just say Valdez didn't fight that way. Let's say Valdez instead came out like, well, I don't know what guys want. Like, did you want him to come out like with a kind of shoulder roll, or try to do a shoulder roll defense, or like did you want him to kind of maybe not a high guard, but just kind of like have a more like traditional stance? And like, do you really think that would have made a difference? Like I don't know. Like, I think what people are not giving Valdez credit for, or Reynoso, is Shakur's like land percentage was lower early in that fight than it usually is, right? Because Valdez was bending at the waist, bending the knees, high guard. He was catching a lot of shots with the guard. Now, granted, Valdez was landing far less than Stevenson, even though Stevenson was lower than usual. And eventually, Stevenson got to his usual percentage like halfway through the fight, right? But the fact that they were able to keep him at a low percentage for a while, I think, was a success, in my opinion. I don't know for that fight if we can criticize Reynoso. I don't know if throwing more punches was the answer, because if he threw more, Shakur was going to counter more. And Shakur was stung. The punches stung enough to make Valdez back up a little bit. This is the same guy that took some punches from Berchelt and was all right. So he had some respect there for those punches, right? Did I think he was at the brink of getting stopped? And no, I don't. Okay. I just don't. I think people over-exaggerated how much danger Valdez was in. And I just, it's my opinion. Okay. Maybe you guys agree that maybe you were watching and you said, oh my God, he's in trouble. He's going to die. Like I never felt that way. It's just me. I just think he was able to absorb most of those shots. And I don't think we can use the face as evidence because the face looked worse against Gonzalez, right? And that fight was closer. So it is what it is. Okay. So what could have, I just don't know what people wanted Reynoso to do. Like, I just don't know, right? Go to the body more. Why try? Like he had an answer for that, right? So maybe there's another game plan another trainer could have had that would have made it more competitive. But I don't know. Like, can someone name me the trainer that would have helped Valdez beat Stevenson? I'll wait. Like if we took Emmanuel Stewart from the grave, brought him back to life, and he trained Valdez for this fight, like you think he would have beaten like Shakur or like what? I just don't know. Like if we get Customato back to life, could he have trained Valdez to like with the peekaboo defensive work? Like, I'm trying to figure out what people mean by he needs to switch trainers because Reynoso didn't have a good game plan. Like just because the game plan didn't work doesn't mean they didn't think about a game plan, right? I think this is what happened. This was the difference between both fighters. Rounds 1 and 2 were all Shakur. Valdez made an adjustment and started going with the straight right. Was landing it on Shakur. He won round 3. And Shakur made an adjustment like that. He made a quick adjustment, right? And it took Valdez all the way to round 7 to make an adjustment, which he did. I believe he won a very competitive round in round 7. Round 8, Shakur started to time the straight right with an uppercut, and Valdez knew that. So Valdez laid off of that, and then Stevenson went back to like outboxing him. It took Stevenson 1 round to make an adjustment to whatever adjustments Valdez made. It was taking Valdez first 2 rounds, right? And then like 4 rounds to make an adjustment, right? So it just took him a lot longer to process and make an adjustment, where Shakur is making these adjustments quick, fast. That was one big major difference. And that tells me that this guy's going to be difficult to beat for anybody because of how fast he makes adjustments, right? So when people get mad at me because I say Valdez won round 3, I don't know why they're mad at me, because that just shows you that Valdez won round 3 and then Stevenson made adjustments and then started clearly winning the fight again. And it took Valdez a while because Valdez wasn't giving up, right? He's trying to figure out things there. And then imagine how frustrating it is. Okay, you finally made an adjustment. You're finally having some success. And this motherfucker just, by the next round, already figured out what you're doing. And now you got to start all over trying to figure out what he's doing, right? I think that was a major difference. And that was a tall task for any trainer to come up with. That was a tall task, period. Shout out to Nando Llamas, or Lamas, as Joe Habib calls him. What you prefer, brother? Saludo, D-Style, and the chat. Shout out to you, brother. Much appreciated. Thanks for everybody that's here, by the way. For those wondering, it's not an official podcast or anything. I haven't done it at all, right? Oh, wait a minute. I missed another super chat. What's the matter with me today? Where's it at? Oh, here it is. Teresa D says, who's down with HCP? I appreciate it. Much appreciated. Also, shout out to Nando. Last week's Aftermath, I missed 2 super chats of his. So I much appreciate it, brother, for your support. Continued support of HCP and the whole network. I see Nando on all the shows, from the Shoe Shine to Mano a Mano to Kenny T's podcast, Knocked Out by Kenny. I see him everywhere. So shout out to you. What's going on to Mad Dog in the building? How's it going, brother? How's it going? Hey, thanks for everybody, man. Supporting the channel, man. Thanks for everybody. Check it out. I'm trying to Because I'm gonna let me see here. And Major Key, not enough tools in Valdez's bag. A training camp allows enough time to sharpen tools and add some, but Shakur had a way more sharpened in his bag already. Yeah, I think that's what it was, man. You have more tools to work with. And it's not just the tools though, it's also just my opinion, the how much faster he made adjustments. You know? Like there's fighters that can't make adjustments in a whole fight, right? Like to me, like unfortunately, I'm a fan of his, but Burchelt can't really make an adjustment in an entire fight. Burchelt's idea of an adjustment is just putting more pressure. You know what I mean? Trying harder. Like you know what I mean? Like that's his idea of pressure. There's another fighter I said that about. I'm trying to remember, but that's your idea of like an adjustment. But that's not an adjustment, right? It's just doing the same thing you're doing. You're just trying harder, right? Valdez is a guy that he could pull off like 2 solid adjustments in a fight, which is really good. Right? Shakur's a guy that can make multiple adjustments throughout an entire fight. He can make multiple adjustments in the course of a whole fight, right? There's fighters that can make an adjustment after a fight. They watch film, they make an adjustment. There's guys that can do it after one round. Some guys it takes a couple rounds. Whatever the case is, Shakur has that ability, and that is a good quality to have. Other people might call that a ring IQ. Same difference, in my opinion. Although ring IQ it's more than that. It's also the X's and O's in the ring, understanding what your opponent is doing, reading your opponent ahead of time, understanding, he's doing something wrong there, but I see that he's doing it because he's trying to set this up. He wants me to make this mistake or whatever it is. That's what ring IQ is. Shout out to Nando Llamas is a new member. I appreciate it, brother. All right. Hashtag ATP says Mad Dog. Hey, there you go. You know what I mean? There you go. There you go. Shakur's statement was true. Whether you're a hardcore Canelo fan and don't want to admit it, he would beat Canelo. They were the same weight class. Okay. All righty. But they're not in the same weight class, are they? If Shakur was 168 pounds, he wouldn't be as fast. He would be heavier. Would he move as fluidly? I don't think so. So, I mean, I don't know. Like assuming that he would be the same is whatever, but it's his fantasy at this point, right? But I guess what you're arguing is that he should be higher in the pound for pound list than Canelo. But based on what? You put a fight of the quality of Valdez in front of Canelo, I think Canelo knocks him out in 5 rounds. So it's whatever to me. You know what I mean? So there you go. That's all I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I'm trying to explain, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I mean? We got a new red dragon in the building. You know what I mean? I'm hoping that the podcast comes back next week. I enjoy doing the podcast. This was a little more relaxing. You know what I mean? Not a lot of, like, I go all out for the podcast. Look at what I do for the podcast. You know what I mean? This is like podcast type shit. But, there you go. But I enjoy doing these shows as well. You know what I mean? A solo D-style show, especially in the age of panels, because I do panels too, obviously. But so I'm not throwing shade. I do panels as well. But shout out to Remy, new member in the building. Yeah, appreciate it, guys. You know what I mean? Much appreciated. You know what I mean? All the support in the world helps. So much appreciated. And Remy is another red dragon, so I appreciate it. You know what I mean? That's just opinion, not fact. Yeah, it's an opinion. If Tyson Fury was 140 pounds, his body fat would be dragging on the mat. But I mean, I don't want to talk about that. You know what I mean? I don't know. What did the maestro say? That's Honey, I Shrunk the Kid. Is that what it is? Plus, I agree with Nando. He's a great fighter. What do you guys think about what Shakur said? I know he said at the end, he said, I wanted to beat Valdez, Reynoso, and Canelo on the same night. That's what he said, right? A lot of people got mad at that. Let me first say this. I mean, it's a factually inaccurate statement that he beat Canelo, right? That's just not true. My issue is not that it's not other than it's not true. You know what I mean? I don't think that's a true statement because he literally didn't do that to Canelo. You know, like, I mean, we're talking about a different level of fighter, in my opinion. Like, just all you gotta do is ask Errol Spence. Errol Spence will tell you. All you gotta do is ask the Shakur brothers. They're the biggest fans of Canelo, right? People wanted, like, PBC was offering Canelo a fight with his fans. Canelo doesn't want to beat up his fans, all right? You know, I think that's what it is. He's like, son mis fans. No lo quiero dar las madres a mis fans. Like every time I interview like Spence, he's like, oh, Canelo's great. Canelo's number one pound per pound. You know what I mean? Like you have Spence fans on here like, Canelo's not pound for pound best. That's Spence. He's number one pound for pound, right? Is he? Like Spence himself is Canelo. He's the biggest Canelo fan. Man, he loves himself some Canelo. Like he loves Canelo. He's the biggest Canelo fan. I mean, Jesus Christ. And then the Charlo brothers, I mean, they go sit front row at Canelo fights. All right? Charlo brothers be front row at Canelo fights, like eating popcorn and shit. And people be asking them, like, hey, is Canelo ducking you guys? No, Canelo not ducking nobody. Canelo doing his thing. No, Canelo's that dude. People hating on Canelo. Oh, I don't know what people talking about. We're ducking Canelo. Canelo's a great fighter. They're his fans. Shout out to, I haven't seen L-Dog in years. I thought L-Dog was dead. But good to see he's alive. You know what I mean? So shout out to you. All right. Look at Stevenson powering with the jab a lot. Lucky Ref didn't make a bigger deal out of it. Just one warning. Right. Hey, L-Dog's on here because an Eastern European is about to fight Canelo. That's what that's about. You know what I mean? That's what's going on right there. You know what I mean? He's here to represent. You know, Fucker, it's DStyle. I think it's silly to say that, but I also said that when he fought Herring, that he beat Bomac and Crawford too. Did he say that? But he also said that when he fought Herring, that he beat Bomac and Crawford too. So whatever he said, I don't remember him saying that, but if he did, I guess he's keeping it consistent. What's a fake L-Dog, man? You know you made it. Like when someone starts pretending to be you, you made it. You know what I mean? The way that dude's out here trying to be G-Funky, like creating, like they're going out of the way to create like G-Funky accounts. You know what I mean? Like the G-Funk is on their mind. He's on their mind. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. Joe Lopez 40, how's it going? I got Bivol defeating Canelo. He's not fake. Look at what he just said. That sounds like an L-Dog type of thing. But it is fake for sure. I just saw that when I enlarged it. Definitely a fake account. It is what it is. But check it out. Gorguruga, Stevenson pawing with a jab a lot. Lucky Ref didn't make a bigger deal out of it. Just one warning. Was it just one warning? I don't know, man. What's going on, Joe Lopez? I don't know if it was just one warning. Like, here's my problem with, like, he was using that stiff arm a lot. And it's like, look, here's my thing. Okay, cool. You're using stiff. Cool. No problem. But, hey, warn him for it. Like, okay, give him a warning, but he kept doing it. I think Bayless kept telling him over and over again, hey, like, you know what I mean? Like, and then he got mad because Valdez grabbed the arm. I don't know what was Valdez trying to do though. Like, I didn't get it. Like he grabbed the glove and he pulled him in, and Stevenson like pushed it out. Then he complained to Bayless about it. And the other thing, come on, man. He knew he was sitting Valdez low. He knew he was. All right. He knew what he was doing. And Valdez should have given him the receipt. To be honest. He should have. The ref told him a couple times, keep him up. But I think he was flirting with it. Like, I think he was going to do it just enough until he was told, yo, do it again. Like, but he was like, well, you know, I'll keep doing it for now. You know what I mean? Someone saying King Nello. Wheelchair Man John in the building. How's it going? Major Key out here. Shout out to Major Key. I got Bivol too. I bet money on a split decision, says Tony Boswell. What are the odds, brother? What are the odds? What are the odds on Bivol winning straight up? That's what I would take. Or Bivol by decision. He ain't going to knock out Canelo. So you might as well go Bivol decision. Shout out to Calix. You might as well just go Bivol decision, to be honest. It's my opinion. You know what I mean? Did I get to the 50 likes? I got a 60 like. You guys surpassed. Shame on me for now. I was all talking shit. I don't even think you guys are going to give me the 50. You got me a 60. So much appreciated. 701 for split decision. Plus 400 for straight up. Is that straight up or decision, man of water? Lee Groves, what's up? Shout out to Calix. 4-1-0. I'll do decision. Split decision. I see what you're doing there because you're anticipating at least one judge, right? Is that what it is, Tony? Like at least one motherfucker. So when it's like when it's win-win draw, that's a majority decision, right? So if one of them gives them a draw, you won't win, Tony. That's a risky bet, brother. But if you get it, man, I'll be happy for you. You know what I mean? If anybody deserves it, it's Tony. That's for sure. Bivol's power punching stats are bad, but also allows 21% power punches landed. Bots well for a decision. Yeah, look, I think he's going to start. Canelo's going to be landing. I'm going to do an estimate. Canelo's going to land, I'll say, let's see. He's going to land about 15% rounds 1 through 3. What? I don't think he's going to land a high percentage, Canelo. And then I think by round 4 or 5, it's going to go up to like 20-ish, 25%. 6, 7, it's going to start lurking in the 30s. And towards the end, whether he stops or not, I don't know, but he's going to start landing in the 40s. That's the trajectory I see. Bivol, I see the opposite. I think Bivol's going to start landing like 25-ish percentage, something like that. And it's slowly going to creep down as the fight progresses. Like by the middle of the fight, it'll be like 18-ish, 17%-ish. And then I think he'll be like 15%-ish by the end of the fight, those late rounds. That's how I see it. It's my opinion, okay? He might land a little higher, but maybe start 30% and go down. But that's just how I see it. I think you're going to see a trajectory like Bivol's landing, Canelo landing percentage, and it's going to go like this throughout the fight. That's what I think is going to happen, okay? As the fight progresses, you know what I mean? Guido in the building. Shout out to Guido, by the way. Longtime supporter of DStyleBoxing and HCP. Okay. Miguel Mondragon says, I'll be cheering for Canelo. I want him to surpass Mayweather in title fight wins. The GOAT, I believe Canelo is the hardest puncher at 175. Man, that's something. You know what I mean? Well, there you go. Omar says, what's up to Guido? Remy, salute, brother, and respect. Bill, I read that one from Calix. Should be interesting, guys, for sure. I know there's something else I wanted to talk about, and I'm going to remember as soon as I finish the video. Look, I just have this feeling. I'm trying to remember. Oh, yeah. Look, check it out. So, Bob Arum, like this dude, bro, like he just shut down any talks about Stevenson going undisputed one day. He just shut that shit down. Like, bah humbug. Like, he is the Scrooge of boxing. Like, I'm just saying, he's this old, bitter, but rich as fuck dude, right? Like, bah humbug. Nobody watches the women fight. Bah humbug. Undisputed. Nobody knows these guys. I ain't gonna waste my money on no damn undisputed. He just shut this shit down. I'm like, whoa. Bob, you could promote the fights. You know that, right? You could promote it as he's going for undisputed and like stuff like that. No money. None. Dude, Bob Arum won't spend a nickel to promote fights, bro. But he just doesn't. He doesn't spend shit. You got to spend some money to make money. Now, look, obviously, somebody might say, "Hey, yo, let me tell you something. Bob Arum knows what he's doing. He's been in the game for a long time. Who the fuck are you? What are you fucking promoting?" And you're 100% right, right? But he doesn't spend. He doesn't spend to promote. He just doesn't. Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano put Shakur Stevenson versus Valdez to shame when it comes to promotion. Okay? Eddie Hearn, okay, and Matt Shroom did such a good job. And okay, what about Jake Paul? He tweeted about it. Like, okay, fine, him too, right? But the promotion was so good that they got the WWE involved. They got fucking, they had freaking like. I'm not saying they paid The Rock. I don't know, but I think The Rock genuinely tweeted about it. But The Rock tweeted about it, saying, "Shout out to you ladies for this is the biggest star in Hollywood with 10 times the followers than Jake Paul, right? But Jake Paul has 20 million subscribers. WWE has 75 million, right? So my point is, they did a good job promoting. Not only that, they had him on Good Morning America. They had him on the talk shows. They had them ringing the bell at the stock exchange. They did a good job. Look, I don't live in New York, so somebody from New York can speak better to this. But I would imagine they did a good job locally promoting the fight because it was 19,000 strong in there. All right? Ain't nobody here thought they were getting 19,000. No, nobody thought that. Okay? The Irish showed up, Puerto Ricans showed up, boxing fans showed up, all types of people showed up, and it was a great event. It felt good to see the Garden pack like that, the Mecca of boxing. You know what I mean? And like I think that was a good look, and it wasn't all empty before the fight. You know? Well, what the fuck? Bob Arum, the only money he spent was that he hired some dude like, yeah, so make me a graphic that says Valdez versus Shakur. Put like Aztec lettering on the Valdez name and put some hood lettering on the Shakur name, and we'll sell it like that. Like what the fuck? What are you doing? That's all they did. Like when they announced the fight, oh, look at the graphic, and that's all they did. Like what? They had Valdez and Shakur sit on a chair that was way too a king's like throne that was way too big for them. I'm just saying. Let me see if I can find that picture really quick. Shakur Stevenson and Valdez throne. I don't know if I can. If any of the moderators can find me the picture where they're sitting. Oh, here I found it. This is Bob Arum's idea of like, oh, we're promoting the fuck out of this shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to show you guys right now. This is Bob Arum's idea that oh man, this is a great promotion. Have them sit on the throne. It'll really show and emphasize how big, what big of a fight this is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, none of this shit. This was like his idea. Dude. Valdez looks like a 10-year-old sitting on the. Just like, what's going on over here? Like, what's going on? It looks like the little prince decided to sit on the king's chair or something. That's probably the one they got for Tyson Fury. This is the one for Tyson Fury. And then like for 6'9" dude, they make these dudes sit on it. All right? Look at this shit. Look how small they look. But no shade, I'm just saying. But this was Bob Arum's idea of like, this is how we're going to promote the fight. Right here. Okay? That's all I'm saying. This is the idea of, hey, we got this. We're going to promote the shit out of this. We all that good stuff. Bob Arum is like, nah, I ain't going to promote no fucking Undisputed. That's going to cost me money. Dude. Bah humbug! Like, can you stop? Like, it's like this dude, doesn't he know that's like in right now? Like, Undisputed's in, right? Katie Taylor Serrano was advertised as a fight for undisputed, like, or she's defending the undisputed crown. Like, you know what I mean? It's a thing right now, right? That's what Canelo's doing. Canelo, he went for undisputed 168. Now, it looks to me he wants to do it at 175. It's what's in. Let Shakur do it. What are you doing? I don't know. Yeah, Guido's too old. What's he going to do with all that money, bro? You're going to give it to your cuñado? Like, the buff's going to get all that feria? What's going on? Cuñado, I mean, not cuñado. The fuck? Whatever, his son-in-law. You know? You give it all to him? I mean, come on. Bob Arum's like, nah, I ain't going to spend a dime on this undisputed bullshit. I don't give a fuck if your fans want it. Like, you gave us Brashelt Nakathila, bro, on a main event. You can't give us, like, undisputed? What's going on right now? You're putting Ali Walsh on TV like we want to watch it. Like people are just, you know, like people are just flocking to the fight. You know what I mean? What? Put Ali Walsh out there. He'll beat the women in the ratings. Like, get the fuck out of here. What's going on over here? You know? I'm just saying. Shout out to his yerno's going to get all that feria, bro. That motherfucker's going to, like, the buff's going to get all that money, bro. Like, you can't get some of that score. Like, you can't give us to these fighters some of it, Bob. Come on, Bob. I'm just saying, I think Bob should start unleashing all this money right now. This is it. Well, you've been investing all this time forward. It's not to, like, you know, plus I do believe that he spends money and promotes. He can make money. He can make a profit. Could you imagine Bob Arum, like, being a head of a movie studio? You think Bob Arum's going to spend like $100 million like these movie studios do now? If Bob Arum was the executive producer of the Avengers, okay, that shit would be the same quality of the 1970s Superman movies right now, okay? Like, I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't give a damn about these graphics. This costing me a fortune. $100 million, you fool. Like, get the fuck out. Bah, humbug. I'm just saying. Nando says Ali Walsh is doing his thing. Look, I don't think anybody watched that fight over Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor. Major Key was telling me on another live stream like where he was at. They wanted to tune into the ESPN card. Right before the main event of the zone card. Like, nah, bro. What do you mean? And then I see people, it was hard watching the Katie Taylor Serrano fight because I was watching the Ali Walsh fight. Really? You were trying to watch both? Like, what are you doing? Come on. I think Bob is holding out of touch, wheelchair man. He's good at what he does, but damn. I'm just saying. I actually don't know. I just know Scrooge says that. He's acting like a Scrooge, you know? I'm just saying. Now, part of me thinks, though, here's what I think. I think Shakur is Bob Arum's, like, answer in case Devin Haney beats Kambosos twice. I think that's what it is. Because, or if Devin Haney beats Kambosos, moves up, right, or something, then he can have Shakur move up and maybe fight for the vacant lightweight titles, or, like, you know, I think he wants to have him in position so Top Rank has some of the 135-pound hardware back. And if he does beat Kambosos twice, then he wants Shakur or Loma, right, one of those two, to be the guy to get the hardware from Devin Haney. Okay? I think that's what it is, to be honest. I think it's going to be either Shakur or Loma that he puts in the ring with Haney if Haney beats Kambosos for the lightweight championship, including the rematch. You know? I think that's the plan. And I don't think he wants Shakur tied up in some undisputed over here at 130. And if Loma's tied up or injured, like, he wants to have both guys, ready to get some of that lightweight hardware because he lost all of it when Teofimo lost that fight to Kambosos, right? So that's really, really important for him. And now he could really get him all. That's going to be including the WBC belt. Okay. Anyways, guys, that's all I got, man. I thank everybody that came on. I'll go ahead and put this on the audio podcast as well. I was not able to put the aftermath because it wasn't saved. So by StreamYard for some reason. But I appreciate everybody that came in. Okay, I appreciate the likes. Look at this, man. Y'all got me to 64 likes, so I appreciate it, okay? This is DStyleBoxing. I'll play this Canelo thing again. I'm hyped. I'm excited. It is Canelo Fight Week. And I'm out. Peace.
With his trainer, Eddie Reynoso, wearing black with white, also weighing in at 167.6 pounds. In his professional career, 54 victories, including 36 big wins by knockout, only one defeat with 2 draws, and he's undefeated for 6 years, and considered by many to be, pound for pound, the best in the world. He's the former 2-time low middleweight world champion, former middleweight world champion, former light heavyweight world champion, the reigning, defending super middleweight champion of the world, damas y caballeros de Guadalajara, Jalisco, México, presentando a gran campeón,